And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 84. 3 days straight of WardiTV action. You're reading out some WardiTV content on WardiTV StarCraft. I'm of course Showside VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to our catch-up marathon stream of WardiTV content. For the past 3 days, we've been going over some missed WardiTV casts, and we're catching up. We are slowly catching up here, covering 3 in a row. Likewise, next week we should be seeing something similar as well to try to catch up with those Monday weeklies. Otherwise, we're here in the semifinals, and we have a rare side as well. Lambo, he does not really play in many open cups and open and online tournaments, so great to see him showing up here instead, facing off against MaxPax in those semifinals. Let's go. It's going to be a ZVP. We're going to be jumping right on in to Winter Madness. When it comes to our schedule, of course, last night we were live with Ubu Thermal's 2-2 circuits. We were working behind the scenes, of course. I was going deep late into the night. We likewise had our Kung Fu Cup broadcast, WardiTV Monday. This weekend, we do have some StarCraft Evolution League, and we have the GSL semis and finals tomorrow. True, tomorrow on Sunday, we wrap up our GSL season 2. But now, this morning in the bottom hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Size from Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the German Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. Let's go. Let us go. We are here, we are back, we are jumping into our fresh series, and coming into this here, again, I haven't seen much of Lambo's CVP as of late, just because he's not a very active player. He doesn't really play or compete too much. We of course have been seeing Lambo recently in RSL. We did see him against Clem, we did see him against Zerg as well, but still not against Protoss. So I'm curious to see what Lambo brings to the table and how he's been playing. I do know that at the start of the year, at the end of last year, we were seeing some ultra rushes and some microbial shroud play out of Lambo, and he was having some mixed success with that. But in recent times, I'm curious how he has diverged from the meta or embraced the meta itself. Typically, what we expect in this matchup is 3 base aggression. Like, you get up to a 4th base, you cut workers maybe a little bit earlier, and then you just hammer down that army key to just get across the map to break the opposing player's bases. Unfortunately, though, Winter Madness is an easier map to be defensive on. Getting your 3rd, getting your 4th base up and running, it is much easier to maintain a 4-base economy here on Winter Madness. So again, that is where I'm going to be a little bit more concerned for Lambo, and where we have to see something a little bit different here. Now, he is known for having a diverse array of play and diverse builds. We'll see if he has something special in store for us on Winter Madness. Typically, what we expect out of regular play is going to be Mutaplay. Like, Mutaplay is viable on Winter Madness, and it can do well if it goes on Scout. That's going to be a big if there. Let's go. For now, we're going to be pulling out a gas, getting link speed, droning, hatch gas pool, standard opener so far, likewise Stargate opener out of MaxPax. Also, before I get ahead of myself, big shout out to Holy Live in the chat. God, my God, thanks so much for subscribing for 40 months. Oh my God, with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Siempre. We appreciate it. Hey. So now we are moving out. To move out here, threatening bases. Likewise, Stargate opener out of MaxPax into Oracle, which is what we expect. Just Stargate opener in towards the 3rd base and towards the Twilight Council and Forge. Now, we have been seeing from the Korean Protoss players earlier Twilight Councils and earlier Forge for earlier Blink, especially on smaller maps. We'll see how MaxPax embraces, because I'll be honest, I haven't really seen much of MaxPax's PvZ either. True. Not in recent times. It's often MaxPax against a Terran or a Protoss, rarely a Zerg. I mean, Zerg players are just rare in general in these tournaments. So I'm ready. So we have our 3rd base. Again, just keeping an eye on the tech. First Oracle moves out, second one is on the way. So Lambo to minimize losses. There's 2 queens here at the natural. They are in position. Spores on the way. Oh, SLA Chrononauts. God, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 21 months. 21. Crazy, puppy, crazy. Gracias, gracias. Hope you're having a great weekend. We will, man. We will. I just woke up. we're good, man. We're good. We got plenty of StarCraft. We got GSL this weekend. True. We got all the StarCraft. As it looks like Levitas, by the way. We have a 3-gate follow-up here, a 4-gate explosion into Twilight Council. No forge. This screams Glavedeps. So MaxPax is going to be hyper-aggressive. Meanwhile, Lambo is going into +1 melee. Did MaxPax actually see this? He did. He saw the Evo Chamber. He knows that it's +1 melee. We mentioned this previously, but when we go into +1 melee here, there's a very low chance that the Zerg player is going to have a Baliness or a Roach Warren. If Lamb is just going pure Ling Queen and into Ling Hydra, it's going to be a difficult defense as we are massing up Adepts. Let's go. Adepts are on the way. It's going to be a difficult defense. Not impossible, but it's going to be difficult. We're down to 9 creep. MaxPax shading into the natural. Gets 1, gets 2 drones, not bad. 2 drones going down. Almost 3. It's going to be 2 Adepts running away. The Oracles, they maintain their position here. They're going to be threatening the 3rd. Threatening the natural. And MaxPax, he will soon be moving out. We're just backing up Adepts in the main. Backing up in the main base. Here comes another warp in. MaxPax now moving out. And back at home, we do have excess links in production, thankfully. But is it going to be enough? As the Oracles, they sustain a lot of damage. With this damage being dealt, this does mean that the Oracles can't really support the Adepts anywhere near as well as they otherwise would. So that may come into play. As here we go, they shade across the map. They do get eyes on the Queens. We commit. Yeah, we commit to the shade. Lings are going to be going down. The Queen should be falling as well. I believe there's no chance views. Yeah, the Oracles, they come in support. They get 1. Ooh. Yeah, one of the Oracles goes down. Lings, they get enough of us around here. And with that, MaxPax, he is being cleaned up. He's being cleaned up here. As I mentioned, the Oracles, they couldn't really help too much. And they got surrounded. No drone kills whatsoever. We do get another Queen, but this is not good enough. Yeah, not good enough. MaxPax is falling behind. He was so committed here to the Adept aggression, and he did not get into the mineral line. Didn't get in. Bappy didn't get in. And with that Lambo, he has a decent economy. He's building up 11 Hydras behind this as well. I'm sure he's aware now that MaxPax has a vulnerable setup. The tech has been delayed. Charge is finishing up. Double rover behind this. Oh my god. that's a lot of rovers. Yeah, Lings, they do catch some more Adepts. They try to at least. MaxPax coming in with another wave. And I don't know if you noticed something, but Lambo hasn't made a drone in quite some time. Lambo, he cut workers very early here at 60, under 3-base saturation, 60 workers. Adepts are trying to commit in. Yeah, Lambo down to 59, and he has not made a drone in minutes at this point. He's all in. He's going for a big 3-base all in, which you recall we did mention at the start of the game here, the fact that it's very common to get a 4th base just for larva. Just for larva. 4th and 5th base here going to be helping Lambo when it comes to the all in. He's rushing across the map. It's all or nothing. And it's going to be a tough hold here for MaxPax. Storm is not done. Storm is not yet complete. These things are a little bit premature. Yeah, we're getting a little bit too cavalier here. Storm will finish up in 10 seconds. It's close. 5 seconds away. Bailings are waddling in. Ooh, there's the first storm. Yeah, 1, 2 storms going to be landing. Bailings, they do not get in. Yeah, barely. No, but we have more Bailings. Yeah, we have more Bailings. We have more Hydras. The base will go down. Lands another couple of storms. And Lambo's done it. Lambo, he has done it. He has broken through. Again, MaxPax, he was so dedicated, so committed to the initial Glavedeps, and they just were not worth it. They were not worth it in the end. As that's 17 probe kills, every high Templar. GG gets called, and Lambo takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Lambo taking lead in the series here against MaxPax. Not bad. Again, winding it back, I don't blame MaxPax for going into Glaive Adepts. I do think that it was a smart decision based on what he had seen. It was the execution that was lacking. He did lose Adepts in the lead up to the push across the map, and likewise, as we mentioned, he sustained a lot of hull damage on the Oracle, so he could not support his army anywhere near as much as he should. Likewise, when he shaded across the map, he wasn't clumped up, so increased surface area on the Adepts, easier to defend. GG. GG, well played. With that, Lambert takes the lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Vamonos. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss down in the series. Can it bounce back and make a series out of this? It is MaxPax. Storm Gaming, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the German Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Shellfire Rebellion. Oh, going for a very early gas into pool. Okay, it is Lambert. Is that a 14-13 or a 14-14? So very early aggression here from Lambo, going for the early gas, going for the early pool. Probe Scout will get eyes on the would-be natural base, but he does not check the main, not yet. So MaxPax is currently playing blind. With this build, Lambo, he has very fast link speed, and he can go into a Roach Rush or a Bane Bust or just a Link Flood. So hyper aggression out of Lambo. Go to bed and it's Monday. I wake up, it's still Monday. Yes, it's always Monday. Ah. Oh no. Cannot get away. As Lambo is going for the Gas Geyser trick. So the way this works here is that when you take a Gas Geyser, where you have in a simulator, for example, the drone here can mine minerals, then you can go and mine gas, and minerals and gas and minerals and gas. Every time you go into an alternate resource, you do destroy the resources in your hand. So with one worker, you can mine through everything. Meanwhile, MaxPax is aware. He does have his probes in position. He does scout this. We're pulling out a gas, so it's purely a Link Flood. No proxy hatch alongside this, bear that in mind. So there's no Spine Rush to support. And the Zelda's getting in position. Lings, they do get it, okay. Lings, they do bust in. Boys are being pulled. And we have to protect that pylon. We have to protect the pylon here. We have to go for the fight. Oh, Zelda almost gets surrounded. And MaxPax, he is holding on. Yeah, so far so good. Zones with the Zerglings. Lambo bleeding out extra links in the main. He is still flooding, and we have link speed that's almost done. And ideally, he wants to surround the Adept and the Zealot. Oh, okay, go for the Adept in the wall. Interesting. And we'll get a kill. Not bad. Gets one of the Adepts, going for the Pylon as well. Pylon is very low, now goes for the other. Oh, doesn't get the surround, just barely nuts. Ay, ay, ay. Dipping into the main, again, Lambo's completely all in. 11 drones. 11 workers. And MaxPax he's held. Yeah, this one he has held on. Sure, we have more links trickling in, but Lambo now he knows how he's going to decide to drone up. Takes a second Gas Geyser already? Oh. And again, the aggression has failed. Lambo, he got in, and there was a moment where he almost got the Pylon, where he surrounded one of the Adepts, but those are the only moments here. MaxPax was just very patient, very, very patient. Spawn the boys, building up his Adept counts. And there's no answer to 5 Adepts. Oh boy, six Adepts even. That's a lot of Adepts. MaxPax now moving out. Back at home, we have 2 queens. Sorry, 3. 3 queens to defend. As Zelt's in opposition. Head up to shade across the map. So MaxPax still playing it safe. Doesn't shade yet. Still waiting for extra adepts. With these 12 links on the way, I think Lambo should be okay. Enough time has passed. As there's still that queen in the main. The Oracle is popping out. And this is just on inverted damage. Lambo forced to make all these lings. Now he's down in workers. Instead of going for a massive counter attack or coming in with this round. Okay. Coming in with this round. That should be what the Oracle's for, though. That is exposed. Oracle does go for the dive. Does get one of the queens. Oof. And just shade into the mid line. Yeah, he gets in. 5 drones going down instantly. Ay, ay, ay. Takes down 5 drones. Hunts down to the queen. Shades back into the main. And this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand here. 9 drone kills in the main and the natural base. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax far ahead in the economy. Getting his own 2 base saturation. Another Oracle's on the way. And Lambo, at this point he's all... I mean, he was already all in, but now even more so. Lambo has a crippled economy. I cannot break down that wall. So Oracle's running out. We just ignore the queen. Yeah, we just and behind this more glaives, which makes sense just to try to end the game early. Going into glaive adepts. There's only links to defend. We just need more adepts, Patty. As links do get a surround, okay. They get a surround. Best case scenario here for Lambo. He does catch 4 adepts, but the Oracle just goes to town. It was 7 drone kills across the map. Here we have 3 Oracles to defend. Does activate all their pulsar beams. GG gets called the depths. They don't get across the map, and MaxPax ties up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As we're getting into the ace match here. Once again, it was just a really rough start for Lambo. He was able to break into the natural, that is true, but MaxPax, it was so cool, calm, and collected, defending against the mass link flood, just pulling the boys where he needed to, making sure he didn't get surrounded. He did lose 1 adept, but only 1. He saved the pylon, built up his adept count, and then just overwhelmed. So it overwhelmed, got up to 8 adepts pushing across the map, and it all got out of hand. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game 3. You're going to be loading into a very interesting map here, Celestial Enclave. This is one of the more vetoed maps of the map pool, especially in this matchup. I'm a little bit surprised this made it through. Okay. Show us what you got. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sassum Gaming, tying up the series 1-1. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the German Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. Here we go. And welcome to Celestial Enclave is one of the larger maps in the map pool, very macro oriented. It has a high ground natural base, it has a pocket expansion as well, limited attack paths, limited avenues of aggression, and you can very easily get up to 3-4 bases on Celestial Enclave with minimal defenses as well, which is why we often see vetoes on this map. It's much easier for Protoss players to build up into 4 bases, to work towards Sky Toss and to snowball at control. I will say there are a couple of niche builds that can work here, like Drop Lord play, Nidus Worm all-ins, Drop Lord all-ins, Muta play as well. There are certain ways you can all-in on this map, but they're very niche, and yeah, we'll see what Lemma goes for. We shall see. There's also an earlier 3-base all-in you can go for by knocking down these rocks. You can knock down these rocks and then push in towards the natural. As long as your opponent has no vision, then that can also be viable. But we'll see. Let's see. As we are going for a proxy hatchery inside of the pocket base. Okay. I believe this should be for a roach rush. Ideally, you get your roach horn up and running, then you can make roaches inside of the bases here of MaxPax. We'll see. So now there is a probe scout. MaxPax does pull away. Pulls out of gas. Never mind, he's pulling out of gas. So only link speed and no roaches. And are we going to send workers across the map? I'm curious what is going to be done with this, whether it's only for lings inside of the base to focus on some probes, or if you plan on making a queen, making spine crawlers and pushing into the main with this. With the spine rush. Show us what you got. As we have Lings amassing on the left hand side. Again, Lamberry's not joining. He's not joining, he's not satyring, he's completely all in. Lings into the main base as well. Queen can spread creep. And can he make this work? Can he pull this off? As we do have a spine crawler in the way. Spine crawler's on the way. Creep does reveal the proxy. MaxPax now aware. As Lambert, he will catch the first adept. And adept is going to get caught. Army's in position. MaxPax is ready. He's trying to be. Lings, they get that adept. Adept goes down, the wall's under fire, and is this going to be enough? Spine crawler pushing in. Oh, the body blocking though. Yeah, body blocking does delay. Does delay the spine somewhat. The Lings, they are deflected. But the Oracle defense is going to be a tough one here to pull off. Oh, we have the battery. Yeah, the battery does defend the main. Queen will go down. The backup queen though. And more queens in production. I was going to say that this is going to be a tough hold without a Void Ray here, but the Oracle's doing fairly well. Until it runs out of energy. But until then though, it's holding its own. Oh my god, it even takes on the spine crawler. That's going to be the end of the aggression here. The Lings are knocking down those rocks. They're looking for another way in. Okay, probes are going down. Nice. 5 probe kills in the main. Another queen falls. So no queens left. Oracle's out of energy. But MaxPax still has the higher probe count, and he does scout. He does confirm. Does confirm the Lings. Does get eyes on the wall. Oh, we made it. Oh, that was a spore. Oh. Yeah, spore made. And Lambo's not breaking in. So far, at least. He can eventually knock down these rocks. He has, sorry, knocked down the rocks. We have 24 Lings on the way. But there are 3 batteries at the natural. In the main base, there are 2 batteries as well. As long as MaxPax doesn't get surrounded, I don't see these Lings doing much. Yeah, Lings are trying to engage. Oh, Jesus. The Spore is helping. Yeah, the Spore is putting in work. Lings is still looking for a way in. They get surround. Hey, not bad. Surrounds 3 adepts. Oh, but the Oracle's activated. The boys are being pulled. Adepts, they will still go down. Well, that's a lot of Lings being thrown away. And so far, MaxPax's positioning is solid. So far, the SimCity, the positioning, the batteries. We have a third battery on the way. One thing, it doesn't get surrounded. Lings, they do try to hold position micro, but there's still no damage. They get no probes. No, oh, finally gets us around, but there are enough adepts. Yeah, now there are enough adepts. They can still hold their own. That's 3 adepts going down. This side within range of the batteries. And Lambert's running out of steam, running out of army. It was a cheeky build, don't get me wrong. It was cheeky. And I wasn't sure if MaxPax would deal with the first spine cooler, but once it went down, I was like, oh, like that's kind of the end of the aggression. As Lambert's bleeding out too much, we have more gateways on the way, more batteries. Lings, they do get a decent engage. Decent. Oh. Oh, they get so much damage here on the spine cooler. Yeah, Void Ray's now on the way. That's what we've been waiting for. It's getting his Void Ray. It's coming. And likewise, Natural's fine. And GG gets cool. GG gets cool. The all-in fails, and MaxPax will claim the series 2-1, advancing on into the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was interesting all-in here from Lambo, and there was definitely potential for sure. Getting the spine cooler within range of the mineral line and distracting at the natural base, knocking down those rocks. Like, there was definitely an avenue, but as you mentioned, the SimCity was brutal, specifically inside of the mineral lines and inside of the bases, with shield batteries, with adept positioning as well. The oracles, they were able to hold their own. I was a little bit iffy on that just because of the energy and the limitations, but now they did well. They did well for themselves. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax still advanced on to the grand finals, and up next we have our next semis. It is going to be a best of 3 between Clem and Classic to determine who will face off against MaxPax in those finals. Let's go. GG, well played. And likewise, again, shout out to Lambo for competing. Again, Lambo rarely competes in tournaments, so great to see him facing off in this Open Cup. Always appreciated. As we're now loading into Ruby Rock. Loading in. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the South Green Protoss. It representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. As we are getting into our next game, as we're getting into our fresh series, jumping into the CVP, Classic and Clem, they often do go back and forth. They often trade blows. Some of the best Protoss and Terran players in the world. And I'm curious to see how Clem will approach Classic here. Welcome to Ruby Rock. This is a smaller map of the map pool. Aggression is typically favored here on this map, so we're expecting Clem to build up into earlier move outs, into earlier timings, into earlier aggression. Is what we're expecting. Now we're just opening up single gas opener, racks expand. Yeah. So far, Clem, he is looking to expand. Likewise, Classic going for his own standard opener. Standard opener. Gate Cyber into Nexus. There's a CC from Clem. A little bit delayed and a little bit of inefficiency, but outside of that, we're looking solid. And it's not going to be a Tech Lab follow-up. It's going to be the Reactor. So racks expand into Reactor. I believe there's no Reaper Scout. Yep, no Reaper Scouts. You're relying on his Hellion, or if not just drop play to get vision here on the tech of choice. As we build up. Now again, from here, Clem has been very aggressive in TvP. He can play the mid to late game, but as many Terran players are fully aware, it's not the most enjoyable experience to just be stuck at home and to turtle up and to perfect your army and then to eventually break out on 4 bases with a Bio Tank Liberator, like a Bio Ghost Liberator Viking. It's not ideal, so all-ins are common. Very common. Likewise, Classic does have some freedom when it comes to his build of choice. He's going for the Twilight Council into Blink, and we'll see how many gateways. So far, he's just on the 1. Ooh, as late reaction. Yeah, late reaction by Classic, who loses the Adept. Very nice pick up here by Clem. Catching the Adept, going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up into Widowmine drop. Not Hellion. So again, much later scout here from our Terran player. You know, a Classic playing it safe, throwing down 3 gateways so far, and most likely into a Robo. And Robo's on the way. Especially on Ruby Rock, like, you do not want to cut too many corners. You don't want to rush into your 3rd. So Classic playing it safe. Oh no, I got my apologies. During the last game, I was locked in. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Skip chat for the raid. Gracias, papi, gracias. Just last shout outs. If you're still here, gracias, skip chat. Gracias. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I'm assuming. Hope you had a great ladder session. Gracias, papi, gracias. As the Magel comes in, will barely unload in time. They're already taking a lot of hits though, and will go down. Massive pickup, takes down the medevac. Ooh, nice catch on the Stalker. Denies some mining, but no critical economic damage. Oh, they're retargeting though. Okay, denies more mining time. With that, Clem also confirms the take of choice, confirms the Twilight Council in a blink. Clem is aware. And we're still building up. We have Stim on the horizon, eBay +1. Building up into our upgrades before eventually moving out. As Clem does find the Stalkers. Jesus, that's quite a lot of Stalkers. Clem getting caught out in the open. Classic doesn't find a way in yet. He has high ground vision. Tempted to dive. He does. It dives into the main. He's doing it for Stim. Does get the first add-on. Stim is going to be left alone. And picking up a couple of SCVs at the same time. Damage done being across the map. Oh, gets the tank. Tank goes down, but this may just be a one-way trip here. And was Raven harass. 7 SCVs. There is no Stim, so it's hard to punish. It's not impossible though. Oh. As that was 7 Stalkers going down. 7 Stalkers for what? For a tank, for 7 SCVs. At the same time, still more damage done being across the map. 3 more pro kills. Ooh, but does get the Raven. We're getting messy. We're getting messy here. Everyone's losing workers. That was 8 probe kills for 7 SCVs. Classic did lose a lot of Stalkers. At the same time, Clem lost a tank, Clem lost a Raven. I want to say this is maybe slightly better for Clem. I mean, that was a lot of worker damage, that is true. At the same time, though, Classic, he lost a massive chunk of his army. And Stim will soon finish. Once again, blinking into main. He's crazy. It blinks in. He's down one of the mines. Being thrown back. And once again, does kill some SCVs, but he will lose 2 more Stalkers in the process. And now it should be go time. And now it's time to move out. It's only going to be 1 tank though. Again, losing that tank earlier was brutal. So just the 1 tank. Clem, he commits. There are only 6 Stalkers to defend. I think he lost too much. Down to 5 Stalkers. There's a Colossus. Oh. And there's a Colossus. Tank pulls away. Do we have enough Marauders? There are plenty of Zealots. Not enough. Not enough Zealots here. Down to 2. Better fight for Clem. He's still looking for a way in. Oh, God, that trades well. Tank shots punish. Tanks punish. Clem rotates to the right hand side. Unscouted. Classic's not aware. Ta-da! We lost one of the casters. Oh, as Clem does get a tank shot off. Okay, Colossus are exposed. Once again, there's not really much here to support. Down to 11 Zealots. 11 charge lots. Clem behind this, expanding on location. He is not all in. Oof. I do think earlier on, especially, there was an opportunity to push into one of these bases, but Clem, he plays it safe. Plays it safe, backs off, 4th base now on the way. The game will continue. But Clem will get on top of the 4th, though. Not bad. He stims in. He stims forward, catching out some of the Stalkers. The base should be denied. Yeah, the tank is siege. That is going to be a cancel. Even dragging the army into mines. Oh my god. It trades well, cleans up all the Zealots, denies the expansion. He can try to stim in on top of the Colossus. It doesn't go for the dive. Clem pulls away, but still 7 ACV kills. That's still worth it though, as he denied the 4th base twice. 3 times even. Some heavy losses though. Full medevac gets picked off. Classic is holding, he's defending. Overextending across the map though. That's what it might say, just waddle in. There wasn't even a drop. They waddle in. 9 probe kills, late reaction by Classic. Aye. Critical damage. Clem now with a worker lead. Clem with a stronger economy. The one thing keeping Classic alive, the Colossus, right? He's been building up and preserving his Colossus at least. That's the one thing that Classic has. So the splash damage. Meanwhile, Clem just getting further ahead. A Liberator production has begun. Vikings are on the way. Ghost Academy as well. You can see the supply disparity. A lot of this comes down to the economic damage and the denial of the 4th base. It has really slowed down Classic's growth in this game. As the mine jobs they continue. Dropping in. So one more mine shot goes off. Classic, he does need to do something desperate here to recover in this game, where there's a Zealot run by, Zealot counterattack, War Prism harass, bypassing the army, going for a base trade. Something. Prism is moving in. Oh. Does try to move in, gets caught out immediately. Ooh, will not get away, waste of a recall. And recalls down cooldown. And Clem is almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. Again, it was a chaotic early game, but it just was not worth it for Classic. He lost too many Stalkers, lost too much army. Led into the situation where he just could not engage with the army of Clem. And now Clem is maxed. He's maxed out. As he moves out, there is a Zealot round by setting up here at the 3rd, but it may not be enough. Clem has 10 Vikings. Jesus. Catch out a Colossus. Gets one shots a Prism as well. Limited anti-air. Yeah, limited support. Zelsa get deflected. There's Liberators back over the defense. And Clem breaks through. Clem, he overwhelms. He breaks through the Colossus, takes them all down. 4 Colossus fall. And there's nothing left. And Clem, he stims and he wins. He breaks down the main army, pushing to the 4th base. GG gets called, and Clem takes game at number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, just a really messy start here for Classic. Just bleeding out so many Stalkers early on, committing into these blinks and falling further behind. Likewise, that meant that he had less to support his Colossus. It meant that he had a weaker defense, so the army could stick around. And we saw Clem denying the 3rd base, sorry, the 4th base, time and time again as well. Brutal damage. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes the lead. Takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if Classic can recover. We'll see if we can calm down and tighten up our early game. See if we can lock in. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself, leading the series 1-0 for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player for Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. Let us go. So we're diving into game 2. Welcome to Winter Madness, a much larger map of the map pool. Larger map, a longer rush distance by ground. Easier bases to defend as well. Your natural, your 3rd, your 4th base, much easier to maintain. And I would say that typically this is going to be better for Terran, as it's often Terran players struggling to expand and struggling to build up into a greater economy in a longer game. But that's only if we get into a longer game. We mentioned at the beginning of game 1, and it played out in game 1 as well, that Clem is typically a very aggressive player in this matchup. He often does want to end things early, as many, if not all, Terran players do. So we'll see how he will adjust his approach. Likewise, Classic, gotta lock in. So now we're settling in, taking our expansions, nothing crazy. Single gas opener out of Clem, going for once again an economic opener. This time Clem does open up Reaper, true. If you recall last game, there was no Reaper start, there was no Hellion start either. Clem is scattered with his Widowmine drop. This time Clem is checking earlier on. How those move out. So Clem does commit. With this, ideally he wants to get eyes on the tech of choice. For now, going to be zoned away. Force to back off. Once again, Twilight Council opener. Last game was 3-gate blink, but Classic did commit into extra warp ins and extra aggression, and it was not worth it. So we're expecting Classic to have minimal warp ins and get a faster 3rd. This wouldn't be a bad map for 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink into a Nexus, into a 3rd. Much more viable on Winter Madness. And much more viable. As Reaper does break in. Still doesn't quite make it into the main. Comes zoned away. Adept into the mineral line. Once again, denying mining. No major pickups yet. Might get 1 SCV. Gets 1. Oh, nice catch there from Clem. He was following the shade once he saw it. Nice pickoff. Back at home, a safety robo. So Classic is not cutting corners. Once again, same build, 2 games in a row, 3-gate blink. Classic, he does not risk it. catching out the Reaper. Clem, he never got into the main base. He can make assumptions based on the Stalkers, of course. Based on the Stalker presence, that it is Blink. Oh, we're going one step further, actually. My apologies. I said 3-gate Blink. It's 2 gateways to the natural, 2 gateways to the main, 4-gate Blink Stalker. Classic, he's actually taking it one step further and being more aggressive. You see the probe in position here at the 3rd base. Clem doesn't see the Nexus itself, does see the probe. Prism is on the way. Classic is going to commit. He will double down. Now remember, this is not an all-in. You still expand behind this, but it's much more committed. And if you fail to do damage, you fall behind. Oh boy. This Classic does move out. Behind this, auto harass into the bases. Denying some mining. Backing over how we have 2 tanks in the main. Ooh, and a bunker over Clem, he is very well set up, by the way. 2 tanks in the main base, does pre-pull the boys, 2 bunkers at the natural. This is exactly what you want against 4-gate Blink. So he's going for the dive, but again, bunkers in position. The match repair is already here. Clemmy's fine. And Classic falls behind. Classic is falling behind. He needs to find some damage here. Does not find a way into the main base. Once again, the boys are pre-pulled. Clem taking this very seriously. Oh. If I can just getting free damage. Tank as well. And Classic forces transition. Now saturating his bases. Forge on the way. Charge as well. Now at least Classic didn't lose too many Stalkers. He lost 0 Stalkers actually. He was denied pushing into the bases, but he did preserve everything. So at least he maintains the army. This can be used to slow down the push, but as we mentioned before, this was a big commitment, and ideally Classic, he needed to trade and do some damage, and this is why Classic is now behind. He has fallen behind. Overlay reaction, losing one of the Stalkers. Losing 2 Stalkers even. Oof. Yeah, 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Oh god. Scratch what I said earlier about Classic maintaining his, or just maintaining his army. That's not true. Losing 3 Stalkers already. The rest are very low. Clemmy breaks out. Classic's in trouble. Behind this, the Bay just now finished. Disruptor's on the way. A bit of a desperation move there by Classic. Again, the Disruptor does finish faster than the Colossus. He's desperate. Tanks are sieging. Does go for the dive. He gets 1 tank. He gets 1. He gets 2. Yeah, 2 tanks get focused down. Does get the 3rd tank, and Classic holds. Whew. Classic is holding on. Did cost him all of his Stalkers. Disruptor has arrived. Holding on to that Nova. He's holding on to the Nova, and again, Classic, it's an impressive defense here, but it is costing him a lot of supply. Did cost him a lot of Stalkers. But Classic does survive. Behind this, Clem is expanding. 3rd CC. 3rd CC's on the way. Extra Raxes. Clem can no longer commit. If he had retained his tanks, then he could keep pushing, but without the tanks, he cannot push into the 3rd. It's not going to happen. The game continues. Oh. Jesus. Yeah, there's that recall. Toss the Prism. Oh, Clem getting caught out. Gotta be careful. Hopefully that is within mine. So far, there's still just 1 Colossus, and because of the earlier losses, there's not much to support, right? There's only a handful of gateway units. And we're coming in for a flank. We're getting on top of the Colossus. Yeah, brutal flank here, and Clem, he's breaking through. He's just overwhelming. Just too many losses early on, and Clem may not have broken Classic earlier, but again, there's just barely any supportive units here. Oof, the base goes down. The fourth base goes down. Now moving further in. Colossus barely standing. Does go for the counter attack. Desperation here by Classic. He needs Clem to back off. Needs him to back off. Give him some room. Ah, Clem's ready for it. He's ready for the run by. He's ready for the counter attack. Rotates in between the bases. Catching out a reinforcing Stalker. Gets two. Two Stalkers go down. Vikings, they can move in. There is potential with the Nova. Yeah, there is that Nova. As the Robo goes down, only two Colossus. Down to one. Down to one Colossus. We can always just pick up. We can always just lift. That's kiting here by Clem. Does pick up, does get the hell out of there. Here comes the main army. And Classic can't reinforce. Cannot reinforce. We're steering on top of the Colossus. Oh god. Yeah, the army comes together. Bit of an F2, but it's fine. We can afford to. I don't think we saw a single Nova connect, unfortunately. Didn't know that the disruptor coming in. Show us the Nova, baby, for that one time. Never mind. Yeah, disruptor goes down. GG, well played, and Clem, who will claim the series 2-0. He will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. An intense series here, a much shorter series between Clem and Classic. Shorter games, aggression out of Clem, which is what we expected here. But here in game 2, it was more on Classic. The reasoning for this is because Classic went 4-gate blink, and he did not find the damage he was looking for. So Classic fell behind early on, as he committed into a hyper-aggressive build, which failed to do damage, which meant that he had a weaker and a shakier follow-up and transition into Colossus, and in towards the 3 and 4 base saturation. So that's why he was so vulnerable. That's why Clem pushed out as hard as he did, and with that, Clem overwhelmed. Clem did overwhelm. GG, well played. With that, Clem will claim the series, and we have our grand finals. It's going to be best of 5. Best of 5 here between Clem and MaxPax. Oh boy. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have that best of 5. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, welcome back to the grand finals, los grand finales here of the WardiTV Monday number 84. Again, we're here with a catch-up stream as we have allowed the WardiTV Mondays to fall by the wayside a little bit. So we have a lot of catching up to do, and we are here in our final series. It's going to be best of five. Best of five here between MaxPax and Clem. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have the Danish Protoss representing Saxon Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Let's go. Let us go. And this is a bit of a rarer sight nowadays. Okay, Clem versus MaxPax. For those that were around, especially during the COVID era of StarCraft, and even just a couple of years ago, 2023, 2024, Clem and MaxPax, they were very often facing off against each other. Like, they were these two players facing off in all the online open tournaments. They have a long history with each other, but coming into 2025 and especially in 2026, it has been rarer and rarer to see them play against each other. MaxPax has had a bit of a harder year this time, especially in regards to PvP, which often means that instead the finals are Clem versus Classic or Clem versus Hero, more so than Clem versus MaxPax. This is a rivalry that is a bit of an older rivalry that does not hold as much weight in this year, in current StarCraft, which is a bit of a shame. Like, we just haven't seen these two play as often this year as we used to. So I'm ready, I'm excited. Curious to see how they compare to each other. Let's go. Let us go. As Clem does open up with an eBay block, moves out to delay the third base, but oh, too late to do so. MaxPax, he will get his natural base up and running. For those who are curious, specifically on Winter Madness, you can force out the low ground third expansion if you can get your SCV in position in time, but Clem was late to do so. Or he just didn't make it in time. Did not make it. So not the worst case scenario here for MaxPax, as he can now expand, he can now set up and settle in. It's still an awkward setup, for sure. Still going to be awkward, as he's forced to expand on the low ground at the third base. And from here, we're going for double gas. So Clem, he was that much more dedicated here. Double gas follow up into a faster factory, opening up with Reaper Hellion. Clem is looking for damage. He's looking. Clem is building up. Behind this, Twilight Council is on the way. Standard follow-up here by MaxPax. I say standard, it is not uncommon for players to open up Stargate in this position, just because the Oracle can maneuver between the bases defensively a little bit easier, between your main and your unnatural natural. But here MaxPax playing Blink. Does play Blink instead. Waiting for an extra wave. Okay, so it's going to be 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. The goal here should be economic damage. The goal is to dive into the mineral line and to roast up some probes. Thankfully, we have a battery in position. Stalkers on patrol. Clem, where we headed? Oh, does catch a Stalker. Does try to, at least. One of the Hellions was already low. Ooh, one Hellion goes down already. Trades for a Stalker. Better trade for Clem. Does get the better trade. Busting into the main. Probe's going to be going down. How many, though? Sapphire gets 1, gets 2. And 2 probes going down. Now rotating back over towards the natural. Thankfully, there is that battery in position. Battery's helping. And MaxPax holds. And MaxPax does hold on. Deflects the army, and this is not too bad. Only 2 probe kills. Only 2 workers, so MaxPax holds well behind this, going for extra. Oh my god! MaxPax, he wants to try to punish here. Okay, I mean, it was a double gas opener. MaxPax going for 2 extra gateways, 2 already done, going in a 4-gate Blink Stalker. So hyper aggression by MaxPax. If you remember, we saw this build out of Classic in the last game that we covered between himself and Clem, and we have to reiterate that if you fail to do damage with this, then you will fall behind. Like, this is very dedicated play here from MaxPax. Not all in, but still needs to find some damage. Clem, he be dropping. This drop actually gets a full scout of the main, and he sees everything. He does confirm all 4 gateways. So massive scout from Clem. Drop comes in. There was an opportunity there. Gets one probe. Gets one. Does a nice mining. Jesus. And finally gets 2 probes. 3 in total. 3 probes in total. Back at home, Clem, he counted all the gateways and he should be setting up defensively. As MaxPax is going for the counterattack. Prisma's out. Here comes MaxPax. And Clem, so far, he's got a 2nd tank on the way. There's that 2nd bunker. It's going to be close. We'll see if he can pull the boys in time to repair, assuming that MaxPax hits the natural. Because here he comes. And here comes a 4-gate blink. MaxPax is committed. He's diving into natural. Boys are pulled. Yeah, the boys are pulled. Mass repair. The first tank is going to go down. Yeah, breaks through the tank. Auto charge does help. Takes down the prism. Okay. Denies high ground vision. But he gets into the middle line. Yeah, MaxPax, he blinks into the middle line as well. There was only the 1 tank. The other was further back. The Stalkers are eventually going to be forced out, but they get so much damage here. 8 SCVs, 9, 10 worker kills. Oof. Yeah, 10 SCVs going down, and Stalkers do get away. What were the losses? 6 Stalkers and a War Prism. So a back and forth trade. Even got the Raven, actually. Yeah, the Raven went down as well. Back into the main base, catching more reinforcements. Getting more SCVs. And Clem is being broken. That's another 4, another 5 SCV kills. MaxPax going back to his roots. True. If you remember a couple of years ago, I say a couple, 6 years ago at this point. That was not that long, like 4 or 5 years ago. MaxPax, he was known for 4-gate Blink Stalker. That's all that he would do in TVP. True. That's all he did. And he would win. I'm thinking during like the Gressvan map pool, that would have been what, 2022-ish? 2022. But with that, 7 SCVs. 7 SCVs going down, the tank, the bunker, or the tank, the Raven, I should say. Back at home, MaxPax getting miles ahead economically, up to 3 base saturation. And Clem is still stumbling his way into the mid game. Stumbling. And at this point, Clem, most likely, I mean, we got to pull the boys, right? Like, there's no macking out of this. It's just too many losses already. Clem, he commits. Yep, the boys are being pulled. As they get pulled, MaxPax does confirm. It's the only option here for Clem. He is forced into the all-in. And back at home, what do we have to work with? There's going to be 1 Colossus. There's going to be 1 Colossus to defend, extra warpins. Stalkers, they tried to delay. I mean, that is a heavy Marauder count. Clem, he can pull this off. He can do it. Oof. No awkward force field. Okay. Tanks do siege. Not enough Stalkers. Tanks, they're getting within range, and the Stalkers are being zoned away. And they get forced back. Sentry goes down. Zealots are racing back. And Clem, he gets within range of the 3rd. MaxPax is in trouble. Yeah, he's in trouble here. Sentries get targeted down. Nice target firing here on the Stalkers. Those 2 tanks doing so much of the back line. Yeah, getting far too much done here. The 3rd is being broken. So far, good damage out of Clem, but he has to keep going. Remember, this is not good enough. He has to keep going. Oh no, the Zealots are coming from behind. They finally get on top of the tanks, and both tanks do go down. That was the backbone of the army. That's all that Clem had left. It was close. Clem, he did do a lot of damage, but this is not good enough. He's still on 26 SCVs. And GG. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and MaxPax, he will claim game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax, he does take a lead in the series. As we mentioned, Clem, he was forced into the all-in. He sustained so much damage from the 4-Gatling Stalker. Clem was not ready for it. He did pre-pull the boys to protect the bunker at least, but the tank was exposed, got targeted down, busted into the mineral line. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if Clem can recover and make a series out of this. Let's go. Let us go as we're loading into White Rabbit. Well, 2020 was last year, right? Ah, Smurge. All in mention. Take a swig. I mean, that wasn't all in. What do you want from me? Ah, no. True. It was a timing attack. Ah. Now RSL is over. We're unbound. We can say what it is. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Let's go. Let us go. But yeah, it's so brutal talking about StarCraft just because, like, in the sense of when referring to the COVID era, like in my brain, the COVID era of StarCraft was still like recent, but no, it's no. There are even some people that are a little bit newer that are watching StarCraft that weren't around for that. Ah, not like this. Smurge. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2. Whew. And we'll see how Clem does open up here. This time, there's no eBay block. There's no block across the map. There's no disruption of the opener. This time, we're settling in. Bearing in mind that something that triggered MaxPax to be as aggressive as he was the Reaper Hellion. Once again, double gas opener at a Clem. Once again, opening up with a faster factory. Oh, he looks in the probe. Now this can once again lead into Reactor Reaper or into Reaper Hellion. This can lead into committed mine drill play, can lead into early Banshee play, which used to be a little bit more popular, but nowadays is a little bit more niche. A Cloak Banshee, Speed Banshee, early Cyclone drop, early tank push. We'll see. Show us what you got. Technically, it was before when you were describing how it wasn't all in and still said all in. There you go. There you go, Pappy. There you go. Oh, right. You're talking about 4-gate blink. Yeah. But 4-gate blink isn't an all in, and it wasn't, but did force Clem into an all in, for sure. I remember. For now, Twilight Count's opener. Twilight Count's opener to MaxPax. So far, so good. And we'll keep an eye on the gateways. Here, we should be calming things down here. We're loading into a larger map as well. Longer rush distance by ground. It can be difficult to defend on White Rabbits. We do bring this up quite often here, but the bases are very spread out. So whoever's the aggressor, whoever has momentum, does have a bit of a better advantage here on White Rabbits, as we do throw down an extra gateway. So far, we're getting up to 3. 3 gates have been set up. From here, we're expecting a robo. Should be calming down. Likewise, Clem going for his own drop across the map. We did mention earlier that with the double gas opener, this can lead into early cyclone, and it is going to be for the early cyclone drop. This is just to apply some pressure to maybe catch a couple of stray units. Third base hasn't spotted, and can we force a cancel? Can we catch a stalker? Oh, nice lock on. Reaver still goes down, but the stalker will fall, and we get on top of the third base. And third taking a lot of hits. MaxPax has to fight for it. Up does not break the lock on. Sentry goes down as well. Nice juggling. Okay, Clem, calm down. He juggles well. Avoids 2 shots already. Very nice. Bearing in mind that stalker shots are projectiles and you can dodge them. It's possible. But not enough. Yeah, it does not have enough. The third base is still going to be saved. But did catch a stalker and a sentry. Not bad. Stalker, sentry, didn't lose anything behind this. Going into, as I mentioned at the start of the game, Cloak Banshee. We have been seeing, or we did see a rise in popularity of Speed Banshee instead, just because it's very common for Protoss players to have detection at this stage of the game. You can see that the Robo is on the way for the Observer, but despite that, there's still a chance that the first Observer goes across the map, and that there is an opening for a Cloak Banshee to find some damage. There is still a chance of that. As Clem is not stopping. Clem, he's now going to be reinforcing. He retained that Cyclone from early on. Now we have a tank as well, alongside the eventual Banshee reinforcing as well. Clem being hyper aggressive early on, and we'll see if he can catch out these Stalkers. Banshee from behind. Gets one, gets 2 probes. Army moves in. Getting on top of the sentry. Nice pickup. No detection. Yeah, no detection. The Observer was with the main army on the left-hand side. Was at the natural. And tank is within range. Yeah, tank is within range. We have to blink in, and does dive on top of the tank. Will sustain some losses though, losing 1, 2, losing up to 3 stalkers. Yeah, 3, 4 stalkers. Nice snipe on the Observer. No detection. The Banshee. They're popping up. And Clem has done it. Clem, he has broken MaxPax. Cheeky moves with the Banshee, sniping the Observer as well. 0 detection. Non-stop aggression out of Clem. And he has broken MaxPax. As the Observer now moves in, but there's only 3 Stalkers left. Only 3 Stalkers. And we will not enter the mid-game. GG gets called, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, very cheeky play there out of Clem, sniping the Observer, bringing it down, but also, again, non-stop aggression either. With his double gas opener in game 1, he went into committed Reaper Hellion. This time, went into early Cyclone drop, into tank push across the map. Very, very dedicated play there by Clem, but he slowly snowballed out of control. Each time he pushed in, he was able to get a sentry, get a stalker, and it slowly did add up over time. GG. GG, well played. And will we ever get up to like 3-base saturation? Is that ever going to happen in this series? I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see. As up next, we're loading into the Old Republic. We're tied up 1-1. Vamonos. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the red Protoss player representing Samsung Gaming from the land of Denmark, being forced into a tied series. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, moving out with the early SCV, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. We do head across the map, and once again going for the block. So it's setting up for the eBay block. We saw that it was somewhat successful in game 1, but in the end, MaxPax was able to be the aggressor instead. Here, my apologies, no eBay block. We actually hide behind the gases. Specifically here on the Old Republic, we do have extra space behind the natural, and we are going straight for the proxy racks into Bunker Rush. So I'm much more dedicated here out of Clem. Very, very cheeky, and we'll see what he can get done here. The goal would be to delay the economy. Delay the economy, get some economic damage done, and keep MaxPax on a 1-base economy for longer than usual, and even force a reaction and force a response. So far unscattered. Now MaxPax, by moving up the ramp, he will confirm that the Rax is missing. Rax is nowhere to be found. It could be further back in the main base, it could be at the natural, it could be at the third. It is not uncommon for Terran players to hide their Rax closer on their side of the map just to force an overreaction. We know that it's not a fake out, but MaxPax still has to piece it together. As MaxPax, see, there we go, there's that Bunker Rush, he knows. And now MaxPax is aware. Bunker's revealed. There's our pylon. The pylon is for the battery. The battery is ideal to deal with this. And thankfully the pylon is out of range of the bunker as well. Is out of range. Oh, the SCV taking a lot of damage. Jesus. Takes a surprising amount of damage early on. Stalker's on the way. There's that battery. I'll slip into the main. Has potential. Where's it being pulled? Is on MaxPax to minimize losses. Nice surrounded. Oh, he gets surrounded. Oh, that should not have happened. The first Reaper goes down. Clem with some miscontrol cancels the bunker, and this has been shut down completely. We can even just cancel the battery, actually. We can. Oh, God. The battery is going to finish. Clem getting surrounded was brutal, and with that, MaxPax, yeah, he just moves out. He just moves out across the map. Fun fact, there's nothing at home. Because the proxy, the Rax is in the natural, so there's nothing back at home to defend. We're even going for the add-on first. I mean, we have to for the Cyclone. Stalker's coming. SCVs are going to start going down. Oof. Yeah, boys are being pulled. We're going to lose the GG. There's nothing. There's nothing to defend. GG, and MaxPax, he takes a 2-1 lead in the series. Ay, ay, ay. To commit to a proxy and to lose your first Reaper to get surrounded, that's game. Like, that's game then and there, because your production is non-existent. You have no production, you have nothing to make, you have nothing to build, you only have workers, and MaxPax, he was so quick to just move across the map to identify that, like, hey, I don't need to stay at home. I don't need to be back. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax takes a 2-1 lead in the series. He needs one more game to claim the series. Oh boy. As up next, we're loading into Tourmaline. We go from some of the larger maps now to a smaller map of the map pool. Smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Tourmaline, and we're expecting aggression, as again, we have not embraced the mid game at all this series, and I don't expect to. But let's find out. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Slashstorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Clem. Meanwhile, a big shout to Psycons in the chat. God, thank you for the bits. Thank you so much for the bits. We appreciate it, Pappy. We appreciate it. Gracias. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. As we are opening up, MaxPax needs one more game to claim the series, and this time Clem keeps his workers back at home. For the past couple of games, we've been seeing some eBay blocks or some bunker rushes behind the mineral line. This time the Rax is at home. MaxPax, he moves out. He did just check the proxy location on the right hand side first before moving out. Just playing it safe. As this time it is going to be a standard open out to Clem, single gas, so Rax expand. And MaxPax should confirm. Picks up the ramp. Can try to delay the CC. Opening up Zealot for... Okay, there we go. I was a little bit confused. Does cancel the Zealot, so he did have it in production just in case he would need it. Confirming that there is no proxy. So MaxPax able to expand, and Clem, he should be able to as well, as this is a big delay, getting up to 500 minerals. Oof. Yes, that was a good couple of seconds there delayed. Nice damage out of MaxPax. As he pulls away. It's moves like that that can get under your skin, and then that can influence you, especially based on how the series has been progressing and based on the no GG at a Clem last game. Like, it can get to you for sure. Hopefully we can lock in and force the ace match, regardless of how this goes. Give us a game 5, Pappy. True. Give us a game 5. As it is going to be the Twilight Council opener once again out of MaxPax every game so far. We have seen MaxPax mix up his openers with 3-gate blink, with 4-gate blink, earlier robos, later robos. I would assume, or I would suggest that on Tourmaline we'd be seeing a safer build here, or an aggressive one, either 3-gate blink and a robo, or 4-gate blink stalker. Safety bunker is done. Adepts a shade past, so they will not delay the CC. I mean, it already was delayed. Ooh, but will kill the worker, though. Okay. Does get a worker kill. I mean, Clem just made a choice there, and it's understandable as the Reaper also goes down. Where Clem could have tried to save the SCV, but that would have delayed the orbital, and the orbital was already going to be delayed because of the later CC timing as well. So he had to make the choice. Behind this, going for his own 1-1-1. Oh, no mine drop, by the way. Going for the early tech lab into add-on swap. Okay. Looking like early Banshees. Cloak is being researched. Very dedicated here from Clem. Very committed. We'll see if this goes unscouted. As he's rushing into Cloak Banshee. Behind this, we have 2 more gates on the way and the Robo, so a very safe play here by MaxPax. He will have detection. As I mentioned previously in the series, though, there is a chance, we mentioned on White Rabbit, that the Observer moves out across the map and that there won't be detection back at home. There's a chance. Otherwise, MaxPax does have the tools to defend. Does come down to his scouting, to his reactions. So far, just 3 gateways. He will apply some pressure. First Banshee moves out. And MaxPax, does he see this? Oh, barely not. Barely does miss the Banshee. He's not aware. And War Prism first, not Observer. Second bunker setting up on the low ground. Tank setting up in the main. Prism moves out, Observer's in production. And we'll see what Clem can get done. Banshee hits the main. Anti-shell probes. Getting 1, getting 2. Up to 3 probe kills. The Observer is going to be able to respond. 2 probes. Okay, 2 probes go down at the same time. MaxPax, he does get into the natural. Oh, he does bypass the bunkers. Goes straight for the SCVs. 4 workers going down. A better trade here for MaxPax. So far, a better trade. Oh, and he does snipe the Banshee. Ay. Banshee goes down. There's 1 more. There's 1 more Banshee, but the first one did not pay for itself. Only getting 2 probe kills. Bearing in mind the Cloak was also researched. So far, this is not worth it for Clem. He gets caught. No shot. He gets caught out, losing 2 Banshees for 2 probes. Ay. Again, it was very committed, very dedicated, and it was not worth it. Clem is not contained. And MaxPax, he can freely build up. Just freely build up his economy. Clem is going for a 3rd CC for the first time this series. True. Let's go. For the first time a 3rd CC. And to me, this tells me that Clem is probably going to turtle up. He's probably just going to try to turtle up here. He's had some rough losses. His stim is delayed. The upgrades are delayed because of the commitment into Banshees. But this is not an easy map to turtle on. So, winding it back, we did mention, of course, that this map favors aggression. Going further into it, it's very, very open here outside of the natural base, a very open area. Likewise, an open entrance into the 3rd base as well. It does favor the aggressor, as it is more difficult to defend without any choke points. Likewise, very direct and short rushes across the map. Very open area here in the center as well. So even if the plan is to turtle up, it is a very, very hard map to do so on. Not impossible, but it's going to be difficult. As MaxPax is just gaining map control. This 3rd base can be opened up even further by knocking down these rocks, just having a wider angle of attack. Going for the double drop. This is spotted. And MaxPax, he's not even behind, by the way, but anytime, Dark Shrine. Let's go. Let's... I actually really like DTs in this position because Clem has had a really rocky start, and chances are he doesn't want to spend like energy on scans, right? The chances are he wants a mule. So DTs can be very annoying. Shop is spotted. Clem forced to back off. Where's the pull away? There are the mules. I bring that up just because the Dark Shrine is almost done. I believe there is no Raven. Yeah, there's no Raven here from Clem either. We currently have 0 scans. We're about to have 1 scan in the main. Clem is being forced back. Sorry, MaxPax is being forced back. Clem does have a presence in the center. MaxPax is aware he has the Observer. And where the Dark Templar? Dark Shrine is done, but no DT Warpins yet. So MaxPax is holding off on it. He is holding off. Going into Blink, actually. Okay. Shadow Stride is being researched. Interesting. Double drop does break out. MaxPax did double expand, and I believe MaxPax, he didn't miss the double drop. Okay, Clem has potential. He has potential here. MaxPax diving in towards the third. Does unload. Do we get the warp in? I shouldn't be able to. Yeah, should not be able to. At the same time, does push in towards the natural, but is MaxPax overextending? Yeah, he's pushing to 3 tanks. He cannot break this. Not like this. Drop across the map as well, but we have a defensive warp in. And MaxPax, he does defend back at home. I say that this double drop is going to get a hand, and can he force a cancel? He can. Yeah, Clem will force a cancel. Nice pickup, nice damage. MaxPax, he races back home. And Clem, he's building up very nicely here. Despite the map control that MaxPax has had, he was trying to commit here into the third, but he was not able to. Right? He wasn't able to. He kind of missed his window. Clem is about to max out. Now he can break out across the map with a better army. You see the supply disparity here. MaxPax, he's banking up 1,000 minerals. Like, he's banking up a lot. He's he's been missing warp ins. But I'm pretty sure he's missing them just because he was hoping he could warp into the main. I'm assuming he was like banking up that for that purpose. Now there. Clem, he has secured his third. True. He's secured his third base. How many Vikings are we at? So far, 6. So the Viking count is still a little bit lacking. It's got a couple of ghosts. Clem is pushing through the center. Drop into the main base. Is going to be cleaned up. And the armies, they pass by each other here. MaxPax, he will miss this. He's stuck on the low ground. Stuck on the low ground, pushing up a ramp. Tanks will siege. Better fight for Clem. Yeah, much better fight. Cleans up all the zealots. Messy engaged here by MaxPax. Getting messy. Drop into the main. And it's getting out of hand. A probe's going down. A messy response. We're not quite paying attention. And Clem, can he siege up outside of the natural? He's out positioning. He's just out positioning MaxPax. He's just caught down, caught out of position. DTs, they try to harass. There was a scan. And these Colossus, they should be cleaned up. They're being focused down. Yeah, they're being focused down one after the other. All 3 Colossus fall. We need more Zealots more than anything. We need charge lots. They're now coming in, and MaxPax holds. Whew. It was a messy defense. It was messy. But MaxPax, he barely holds on. I say that, Clem is still rallying. MaxPax needs splash damage, making 2 Colossus at a time. Oh, switching disruptors. Okay. Does switch it up. Disruptors now on the way. But again, MaxPax, he failed to contain, right? He failed to contain Clem. Now we have a 4th base up and running. TT gets spotted. Disruptors have potential, but I would say Clem has more momentum here. He has much more momentum. He has a lot more to work with. In the end, the community DT just wasn't worth it. Jumping into more bases. DTs, they break through the bunker at least, but still no major damage. That's going to be 11 probes going down. Yeah, Liberator has arrived. So much damage. No reaction here by MaxPax. losing his mineral line, and Clem has done it. At this point, Clem has done it. He has broken through. I was concerned that he wasn't going to be able to maintain his third, and MaxPax, he was setting up to break it, but again, that prism was shut down. There was no commitment out of MaxPax. Nova doesn't connect. We have more Novas, and they will buy some time at least. But that's all we have. Like MaxPax, that's all he's relying on here are his disruptors. And he's just lost so many probes. At this stage of the game, with the Protoss player, he needs to be up at base, up in workers, up like 10, 20 probes. That's not happening here. Oh. And Novas, yeah, they see the connections are not good enough. Don't like this. Clem, he stims out, GG gets called, and Clem, he fights back, he puts a point on the board. We're forcing the ace match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, I had my doubts. I had my doubts about Clem turtling and recovering, but no, he was able to build up on 3 bases, build up his army. MaxPax, he tried to be aggressive. He tried to break Clem. As we were mentioning, he was trying to set up that multi-pronged aggression, pushing with his main army at the natural and coming with a backstab with a prism. Prism got shut down early, and the aggression just fell on its face. Like the timing, the move out there just fell on its face. MaxPax, he failed to break, and then he committed into DTs. That did no damage either. Committed into Blink as well, into Shadow Stride. And GG, well played. Whew, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 5, and we actually got to experience a 3-base economy, even a 4-base economy as well. We got there. At least once in this series. True. We did get there. And with that, we are getting into game number 5, the ace match. Let's go. Loading into the ace match here and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran, the French Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. It all ends here. It all ends on 10,000 feet. And boy, here we go. Getting into our final game of the series, final game of the broadcast. It all ends here. It all ends on a bit of a smaller map. I mean, I say smaller map. This is a map of extremes. The rush distance by ground is short, even shorter than Tourmaline, by the way. Like a very short rush distance by ground. That is true, but there are more defensive features. We have a ramp coming into the 3rd expansion. We have the 3rd base that's in front of the naturals, so there's no way to bypass the 3rd into the natural base. So this base does protect the other. We have the 4th base location, which is right next to it as well. It's all very centralized, all very condensed. So defending and turtling up is a little bit easier getting up to 4 bases. But because of that rush distance, it does mean that if you gain momentum early on, if you win a fight, then you can keep pressuring, you can rally, and you can break through. There's very little time to react, very little time to respond if you take a bad fight. But we'll see. We shall see. As once again, single gas opener, faster economy here by Clem. MaxPax moving down to attempt to delay. Does force down the 2nd SCV. Oh, and this time, does get his command center on time. And much faster center. And we'll see if MaxPax varies things up. That's one of the differences between MaxPax and, say, Classic and Hero. Is that Classic and Hero, they're willing to go for charge base openers, they're willing to go into Stargate base play, mix in proxies. Here, MaxPax has been playing Blink Stalker the entire series. Different variations, for sure. 3-gate Blink, 4-gate Blink, faster Robo, later Robo. But only slight variations. Once again, Twilight Council opener. Let's go. Oh, hello. Wait, what? Wait, what? We went Marine into Tech Lab, not into Marauder, into a very early add-on swap into early Cyclone. I'm assuming early Cyclone. Okay. That was just, in my mind, I was like, when we rush into a Tech Lab like this, it's usually for the Marauder. I mean, this is another way to gain map control early on and to hunt down the first gateway units. Cyclone is on the way. MaxPax will scout, will confirm the Tech Lab. Will confirm. This is reminding me a little bit of White Rabbits. If you recall, on White Rabbit, we had the early Cyclone into early Tank into early Aggression. We'll see if we go into Tank production early on again. But this looks like the same opener. Back at home, MaxPax throwing down 2 more gates, getting to 3-gate blink, into a robo, very safe play at a MaxPax. Here comes the medevac for the drop. And yep, straight into the tank. So it's the same build. So same build that we saw on White Rabbit. At the beginning of the year, around March, this build was all the craze, if you recall. It was like around March of this year, where we saw this a lot from players like Clem, from Beyond, from Maru, from Cure. It's just hyper aggressive. That's Clem, he wants that third. I'm getting deja vu. Jumps in towards the natural. Stalkers, they respond. Locking on the worker. On the Stalker. Getting onto the high ground. Harassing, yes, but no major damage yet. No probe kills either, just one. Just the one probe. And never mind, we're staying back at home. Okay, the tank does stay back. I'm curious if Clem saw an earlier third base, whether he would commit. But the tank stays back. We go for the Atom Slope into earlier stim. So just the one tank at early stim. This is actually quite greedy. Quite greedy. But so far, Clem is getting away with it. He's distracting MaxPax. Patient play by Clem. It's holding off. Again, just heavy bio production. It is so risky just opening up single tank, by the way, in TVP. Like, that's crazy. But it is working. So far. So Max actually does contain. Does neither Raven. Keeping Clem back. When the Stalkers are revealed, Clem is activated, but there are Stalkers back at home as well. Oof. Yeah, Max actually is ready for him. He's ready for the drop. Does force a recall. And Clem, he's about to commit. We'll see how hard he does. Okay, no all in. Does not pull the boys. Third CC. Third CC's on the way. We're macking out of this. Let's go. Oh. Does get a third. And Clem does have this very early stim timing available to him. He's moving out. He's got stim. He's going to hit with +1 as well. +1 almost complete. Doesn't want to waste that stim. But now there's a Colossus. Tank is exposed. Uh-oh. And tank does attempt to siege. The tank is exposed, but does not get on top. Better fight for Clem. Yeah, thanks to the auto charge, he does maintain this position. Clem rotating over. That's dropping into the main as well. Bold move. He's crazy. I mean, recall's on cooldown. True. Recall is on cooldown. And is this going to be worth it? The tank goes down instantly. Dropping the main base has more potential. MaxPax has to go all the way around. Is making his way over. We have a couple of Stalkers to defend. And this depowers some gateways, depowers some production, and does supply block with no major economic damage. Was this worth it? That was 12 Marines, 3 Marauders, the Raven went down, the tank went down as well. These are some pretty heavy losses for Clem. Does thankfully at least supply block MaxPax, but he's triggering a counterattack with 2 Colossus. And then remember, there's no tanks. Yeah, there's no defensive tanks back at home. Widowmines are in position. We have a couple of Vikings as well. Baiting out the shots. Baits out the mine shots. Plenty of Marauders. With a high Marauder count, Clem can hold. And he can hold on. And he will. Clemmy's holding. Behind this, going into double reactor Viking production. Jesus. It's a lot of Vikings. Making 4 Vikings at a time. MaxPax forced to pull back. Forced to back off. And take a 4th. Okay, we're macroing up. Both players building up into the mid game. We mentioned this earlier, but it's quite difficult to break a turtling and defensive player here on 10,000 feet. MaxPax is trying. And he is trying. He's committing as well. Zealot's getting ready for a flank. Going for another massive warp in. Oh, but there are so many Vikings. MaxPax cannot break through. He doesn't try. He does not try. Clem does successfully hold. He's perfecting his army. Building up Ghosts, building up Vikings, and eventually working towards Liberators. Eventually. Prism is denied. Denies a Prism. When it comes to MaxPax to set up, likewise, we do need more expansions. Now, unlike on Tourmaline, at least MaxPax is able to fight for some map control. It's keeping Clem busy while we build up. Meanwhile, there's that 4CC. Once we start working towards the 5th base, that's when it can get difficult to maintain, but the 4 base setup here is going to be very secure for Clem. Even now pushing across the map, he's already halfway across, or he's already across the map. He's already here. MaxPax in trouble. Okay, that's 12 Vikings. 12 Vikings, papi. They can choose your Colossus. Gets 1. There's 3 left. Down to 3. As they will flank, they engage with the army, but Colossus, they just get bullied. As they cannot engage. Get some nice EMPs. And Clem overwhelms. Yeah, he just overwhelms. Again, he has the superior army. Built up his Vikings, built up his Marauders. And MaxPax cannot keep up with this. Not like this. Oh my god. As the Colossus just get bullied. And with that, Clem, he just snowballs out of control. He busts into the natural, depowers some of the gateways, takes down the final Colossus, Disruptors on the way. GG gets called, and Clem, he will claim the series 3-2, becoming the WardiTV Monday number 84 champion. GG. GG, well played. As Clem, he does overwhelm MaxPax, who's so much more dedicated here on 3 to 4 bases. He wanted to be active. He tried to commit with his own Colossus timing, with his own charge timing as well. With that failing him, that's when Clem snowballed out of control. He was just so reliant on Colossus, and he had a bit of a delay transition into other forms of splash damage. Whether it would have been Storm or Disruptors, it was much later, never came into play. We saw that Clem, he was able to just dominate with that higher Viking count. 12 Vikings broke out. GG, well played. Again, it's one of those things where MaxPax, he was trying to end the game earlier, which is what we saw on Tourmaline as well, where both on Tourmaline and on 10,000 feet, we saw MaxPax try to end it early. Once he failed to do so, then it all kind of fell apart there for MaxPax, as Clem was successfully turtling up and building up and preserving his army over time. GG, well played. Whew, with that, congratulations, Clem, he does claim the series. He does take down MaxPax. A shout out to MaxPax for making a series out of it and for having that back and forth and making it all the way to the ace match, but Clem comes out on top. GG, well played. And with that, that is going to be our morning broadcast for the day. Once again, we have been catching up with all the WardiTV Mondays. As you can see, we had WardiTV Monday on Thursday, Friday, and now Saturday as well. 3 days straight of WardiTV action just to catch up on our backlog. Later on tonight, we're going to be live with, as you can see here, the StarCraft Evolution League. That's going to be the SEL. That'll be later on this evening. That's going to be a show match between, I believe, Solar and Classic, a best of 7 in StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, we have GSL tomorrow. We have the GSL semis and grand finals tomorrow. That's going to be a very intense broadcast, of course. That's why we only have one cast tomorrow to focus completely on the GSL, so look forward to that. It's going to be an amazing one, I'm sure. Bearing in mind, we do live cast over on Soup. Soup is a Korean streaming platform. It is Africa TV rebranded. So we're going to be live on Soup with GSL. The rebroadcast on Twitch and YouTube will be 48 hours later. So just expect that. If you can't watch it live, if you don't want to watch on Soup, then it'll be available a couple of days later on Twitch and YouTube. Be available. Oh. Sorry, just catching up. When it comes to next week's broadcast schedule, we're still catching up, mainly with Brazilian tournaments, with Amanthus, with Code for Giants Cup as well, with more SCL, with more StarCraft Evolution. But we should soon be able to catch up with all the Wardy events. Should soon. Bearing in mind that GSLCK does return in a couple of weeks' time. We have Mysos of the game that's also ongoing. We have the Euthermal 2v2 circuit, which we are admitting, and we have the Home Story Cup broadcast at the end of the month as well. So there's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We mentioned this earlier, but we are not covering Mysos of the game this year. We did cast all of it last year, but this year it's just at a really, really rough start time. It's at a very European-friendly time, not so much here for Australians. So it's not ideal for us to cover. We might cover the playoffs via replays. That we might do, but at the moment we're trying to just calm down, look after ourselves, and take it a little bit easier, Pappy. It's been an intense 6 months of StarCraft this year. No breaks, Pappy. Non-stop StarCraft. And that will continue coming into July, coming into August. Oh boy. It's a lot of StarCraft. But again, we're catching up. Otherwise, take care, everyone. Take care. Hope you enjoy the PTR that has been going live. And again, there's been a lot of testing going on. Hopefully, we do get an update regarding the PTR soon, TM, regarding the next iteration of PTR. That's my one big hope. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We should be back tonight. That's going to be in around 7 hours. In 7 hours' time, we're going to be live with StarCraft Evolution League. Otherwise, we'll be live tomorrow with the GSL. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. If you want to follow us, you can do so via all the socials, ! socials in the chat for links to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things StarCraft, all things CranKy Duckling, I should say. And likewise, you can also support us via Patreon if you wish. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments directly. It funds the Sparkling Tunic Cup alongside the Duckling Open and the Swan Open as well, all funded via Patreon. All funded. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. And we'll see you guys tonight for some StarCraft Evolution League. See you then. See you then, Pappy. Until then, ciao, ciao. Hasta luego.